In today's world, incremental gains alone aren't going to cut it. Most teams are anchored to what they think is realistic. So they aim for a 10% gain and they call that ambitious. But as Joe Polish is famous for saying, if you want to make a breakthrough, sometimes you got to break some things. The first thing you need to break is what your team's anchored to, then find your real constraint and work out what moves the needle. If you want to see how I do that in the Unbox workshop, then here's a sneak peek. The eighth waste is slowly killing your best people. Not dramatically, just slowly. Week after week, updating the same report. Building the same spreadsheet over and over and over again. Doing the work that an AI could automate or execute in minutes, not to replace them, but to free up your most valuable and their most valuable thing, their talent and their time. Their time's the most valuable, actually. Their time to go and spend that on meaningful work that will actually move the needle. That's exactly what I've been doing with Claude this week. And ignore this at your peril. If you keep getting your best people doing mundane work, this is what's going to happen.
Global talent is now not just liquid, it's automated. Remote work was phase one. AI native collaboration is phase two. Okay, talent is now completely liquid. The best people don't want unemployment, they want leverage. They will float between ecosystems, projects, missions. If your organization is designed for lifetime employment and rigid career ladders, you're gone, you'll lose them. Okay, the future workforce plugs in and out. If you can't design for fluid talent, you'll only retain the ones with no options, and that's the bad outcome. That's the shift.
You'll end up with tech people like me who can't do tech. There was a couple of key lines in there. They're not going to sit around. We've moved from collaborative working teams. Now we're in collaborative AI. Completely different ballgame. Which is why we've set up inside construction school what's known as the Stealth Team Labs. This is where, and you'll read at the top of this, eliminate first, create process second, and the third thing you do is add AI. Because if you just jump straight to, which is the mistake that everyone's making, straight to AI, let's just get AI to do this without looking at first. Is it even necessary? And what's the actual output that we want here? You'll just create an even bigger mess, even faster. Right, so the process keeps us online with this every single day is called ORCA. You don't have to run ORCA exactly to ORCA, but you do need to hit the key points. You need to have an objective that everyone is working to. You need to be speaking to the results that you are getting. You need to be speaking to what's the cause effect. What is causing those results, driving those results? And if you're not getting the results that you want, look at the cause and go, what actions do we need to be putting in place to mitigate this moving forward? Here's why we run the ORCA process daily.
This is the most powerful tool on earth. As an organization, we helped 3 NFL teams win the Super Bowl by teaching them how to use this method by coaching. It's called debrief, and it's only 4 steps. Intention, expectation, or what we call objective. Reality or results, what we call R, result. Curiosity, or what we call cause, the cause of this gap in performance. And A, action, what am I actually going to do about it?
All right, we're about to have a look at the cause, the gap in action right now, because we're going to run ORCA with our good mate Claude right now. Let's just get the keyboard up. Ready to go, Claude. I've missed the last 2 days, so it's going to be interesting to see what he says. Internet is a little slow in a new apartment, and I'm running off my phone because it's brand new and the internet still hasn't been set up yet. When they came to do it the other day, there was an issue. Did yesterday's action get done? I've got to keep hitting the wrong button here. There was no, it didn't, because yesterday's action was the live stream, and I've missed the last 2 days, as you will pick up when you do the date in a second. Let's see what we can get something out of it. So have you run an ORCA with your team yet? The Jing Yang answer. Hot dog? Yes, you have. Not a hot dog. No, you haven't. Because I've been working with a team this week. New team that I'm working with. And we are, but we're not running the ORCA process exactly as in speak to those. We speak to those 4 things. I tick them off. I've done this so many times now. I tick those off in my mind as we go. They have another framework that they run, which addresses, funnily enough, all 4 things that are in ORCA. They tick off in my mind because I've done so many of these now. I'm on day 174, and I've missed I've missed 1 day realistically where I haven't done the ORCA process somewhere along the line. Noted 2 misses. What happened? Thursday night, I was sick. I had a smashing headache all day. So I deliberately decided not to run the ORCA process at home. Friday was yesterday, end of the first week, fatigue. So I didn't run it either. Having said that, when I say I didn't run the ORCA process, what I didn't do was do it with you live on LinkedIn. Both days still, I did it with my team in the morning. See what he says about that. I think we're going to have to layer into here and accept that I'm just not going to get it done every day. I will do it every day I'm on site, but not necessarily. Good distinction. The ORCA ran, just not live on LinkedIn. Mission complete. So what he's saying there is I executed flawlessly. The mission, and this is what the fighter pilots talk about when they talk about you can't get perfection, but you can hit the mission. My mission is run a ORCA daily. I've done that. Regardless. So it didn't go perfectly. I didn't live stream it every single time. I didn't do it with Claude every time. A couple of those were manual updates, but still got the mission done. Home. Huge distinction there. Flawless versus perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. Do you do your 2 practice runs before going live? Yes, I did. So another one that we've hit. Done our practices, and we have maintained the streak. And it's starting to really compound now. Welcome back, another ORCA live. But I'll get to red days on my dashboard so that flags up and I can see, someone's hit the balloon button. I don't know how they did that. I'll still be able to see where the gaps were in execution. The gaps between, even though I executed the mission, I can still look at the causes behind why I didn't do the live and why I didn't do them with Claude. Mind you, when I say I didn't do them with Claude, I spend hours working with Claude every single day, which is, as I said before, eliminate first, get rid of what shouldn't be done, work out what the actual output is that I need to produce with it, map a process on a whiteboard. I'll always go and see whenever I work through a new process with Claude, I've already mapped it on the whiteboard, drawn what I want to do, how I want to get from A to B. I use pool planning a lot during that method, so I'll start the end and I'll work back to the beginning. Because what we're doing there and through all of that is eliminating waste. 90% of everything that we do every day is waste. So you imagine if 90% of everything you do every day is waste, and you can ramp that up with AI, you can create massive amounts of waste with something that's supposed to make you more effective. This is a two-edged sword, this tool. You have to be really, really careful how you use it. You must go back to the hierarchy of control. Eliminate first. Create a process second. Then we automate. Once we know that it's going to produce the actual output that we want the most effective way possible. Step one is the objective. We're locking in exactly what we set out to do today. Today's objective was to do this live and speak to the fact and speak to the Stealth Team Labs. That's what the Stealth Team Labs is in construction school. It's teaching people what I do, how I do it, so that that becomes the ultimate leverage. Good objective. Run the live and speak to the Stealth Team Labs. What it is, how it works, and what its ultimate leverage. Is that running right now? It's running right now, and I don't know how, but someone gave me a thumbs up on either, must be on YouTube. Maybe you can explain to me how this works. When I did the thumbs up, all these balloons floated up through my feed. Maybe it's an Ecamm Live thing. That's Ecamm Live. It shows live reactions from your stream in real time as an overlay. Someone on that YouTube hit thumbs up and fired it to your screen. That's engagement happening live. Good sign. Someone's watching and responding. How did the Stealth Team Labs message land? At the moment, obviously, it hasn't landed because I need to get the first cohort in there, which is the focus at the moment. Get 5 positions filled in that cohort. So at the moment, I'd say it hasn't landed yet. I haven't done a good enough job with the content to put people in there, but I'm going to do some training. Taki Moore's running next week on how to use YouTube to do exactly that. What's going on here? Get with the business. Claude's AI can make mistakes like he has at the minute. He's lost me message. Now we've lost keyboard. What's going on here? We'll go out of this. Projects. Walk away, man. Boot to begin. Oh, still there. These things aren't perfect. People go, oh, it doesn't work, this, that. How many humans do you have on your site that do everything perfectly the first time? How many pieces of machinery do you have on your site that you don't have some sort of issue with? This is a tool and takes some experimentation and some working with it. So the gap is clear, the message is out, but the cohort isn't filled yet. 5 spots, none taken yet. Why hasn't the content converted anyone into the cohort so far? I believe that it is purely a watch time thing. This is why one of my key metrics is to drive watch time up. Taki was just talking to this morning about people need to watch around about, one of his clients worked out, 48 minutes of your video content before they buy. So, but that's what I'm assuming So that's why I'm doing the workshop with Taki next week to dig into what I need to change in my YouTube content to get those people signing up. Good, so it's not the message, it's the watch time. People haven't accumulated enough exposure yet to convert. Cause insufficient watch time. Audience needs approximately 48 minutes of content before they buy. Content is running, but the accumulation isn't there yet. That sits in plan communication, specifically metrics. You know what the number, 48 minutes, that's the target to engineer towards. One action, what moves the watch time forward this week? Doing that training with Taki. That workshop. Well, didn't transcribe very well. We'll go back and we'll use our line here. Doing the training with Taki. That's what I need to do to see what I need to tweak up to get those videos converting people. Benny completes a YouTube training with Taki next week to identify what needs to change in the content to drive watch time and convert viewers into Stealth Team Lab. Cool. What's the objective for tomorrow? Objective for tomorrow is to work with Claude and do the planning for the next week's content. Today's a Saturday. Live runs 4 to 6 p.m. You're on. No, we've run it this morning. You peanut. We're doing it right now. 42, 2 misses, both of them with the team on site. Mission never stopped. Format adjusted for conditions. And today the number that matters landed 48 minutes of watch time before someone buys. So that's a metric now that you know what to engineer. Log that. All right. Let's do on that. When you're ready, put your team across into the Stealth Team Labs. Show them how to work through that process. Eliminate, great process, then we use our AI to automate, work with us, whichever way we need to use it. When I went to school, the teachers had a little name for me. I'll let another previous Benny tell you all about that. Speak soon. When I went to school, the teachers had a name for me. Disruptive. Turns out though, inside school with a K, that's my biggest advantage. Inside construction school, I run a community where project and business leaders come together to flip the script. We're literally building the anti-project management playbook. And that's driven by the fact that over 7 decades of data tells us that what the construction industry currently does doesn't work. We focus on the 12 causes of project failure and how we use the 9 rules of flow to mitigate them. What happens is you get less drama, more predictability, and leaders that start leading instead of reacting. So yes, I was disruptive in the classroom, but now that's being put to good use inside school. If you've got a disruptive streak and you want to start your own community or join construction school, there'll be a link around here somewhere, and I'm sure you know what to do next. That's school with a K, not the one with a CH. I really hated that place.